Welcome back. Season 42, War 11 for Loki is having a rematch against PALO. Alright, this particular war, I'm going to be keeping Titania on the team. She's going to be doing a lot of fights this war. I'm going to bring the ultimate nuke and sunspot. And then I'm also going to be bringing Mags because I need to get a little bit of revenge on Zemo before this season closes. Alright, let's get into this 8-fight war. And we're going to start off on path 2A. Here we have an America Chavez. We'll obviously be using Titania since she doesn't gain any buffs. Therefore, there's no issue with the placebo. I'll go ahead and start this fight with the Haymaker form. Fortunately, this dude is running recoil. So this is going to make this fight obviously a lot easier. Chavez is going to be eating a bunch of damage from the bleed and the poison at the start, and also going to obviously be taking recoil damage anytime she throws a special. So that's just, making my life a whole lot easier. And I was very happy to report that all these guys would place with recoil, and not a single one of them was Elsa. So can't claim it was a big brain tater strategy. All right. Now we can move on to the second fight, which is Magneto. Magneto's global, but we're still going to be using Titania. I actually thought about using Sunspot, but you know what? Titania is just a monster in Alliance War. The access to the Haymaker with the invulnerability and the unstoppable is just so good. So we're just going to use her against this Magneto here and not really actually care too much about the global. It doesn't really come into play at all in this particular fight. So we're just going to build to a special 3, and then we're going to let the special 3 rip. That's pretty much it here. Unfortunately, I don't get to take advantage of that Haymaker phase when I got it because of the special 1. But whatever. Alright, now we're going to unload right into his face. These heavies are just monsters, look at that. And Magneto is dead. Alright, next is a fun fight here. We have a Tumo on the shared 5 in the first section on the left. Node 20. Just looking at the nodes, because I haven't fought this particular fight in a minute, and I just wanted to make sure that I was familiar with what was going on. Obviously, Attuma got a rework. However, the Incinerates from Sunspots still wreck him. And this is a 7-2 against a 6-4, so it's a huge mismatch in terms of damage. Attuma is global, so he is gaining a little bit of extra power here as a result of the prowess. But we're going to throw the first special 1. We're not going to worry about trying to parry him. We'll just throw another special 1, and the fight's over. Good job, Sunspot. All right, next up, we're going to move into Node 22, Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Shock. And this is the Zemo fight, and I want revenge. I fought Zemo earlier this season with a Magneto, and I almost died. Since then, I fought a few Zemos on my other account with Magneto, just to make sure that I get the spacing down, as well as sort of the timing for the fight. And that has gone successfully. So this time here, when we saw a Zemo, I had a lot more confidence than the first time. Just more familiar with his animations, more familiar with his spacing, even though I miss that heavy counter of his SB1 there. Just feel really more comfortable with how this fight goes. So I do throw on an Indestructible just because I know I'm going to screw things up from time to time. And that's just the nature of not being very good at this game, but taking these somewhat high degree of difficulty fights. For this fight, I do have on Max Pacify. do not have anything other special with the masteries. And my goal here is just to sort of, get the heavy counters when I can, but get up to a special 3. And I screwed up that spacing again. Again, not perfect, but my health bar is still pretty great so far into this fight. And this should be enough to kill him. When I say it should be, I mean I'm talking about the bleeds there. Yeah, so good job, Magneto. A much better job. I had the fight in control the entire time, so I feel like I did good work here. Next, we got up a Maul on node 23. I'm going to be using Titania. She's really good for Maul. And this fight, I just do a very poor job of. It can be done a lot better than how I ultimately end up doing it. I make a couple of mistakes later on in the fight. Even though I'm off to a decent start here, I get the spacing right on the heavy counter of the SB1. But I just don't do a tremendous amount of damage at the start of the fight while I'm working my way up to my first special 3. Here I'm just way off in terms of the heavy spacing. I'm wasting a haymaker. Ugh. And this is where I sort of lose a bit of health and get the degen on me, as you can see how much damage it's doing. It's just because of, the node. And it's like half my health. It's really annoying. But I'm going to get in here on him, knock him down a few times, and we're just seeing his health bar melt. Not quite enough to kill him like we had against Mags. So now I've got to wait out another falter timer here. Yeah, I remember having to wait it out, and there it is. And now I can, as soon as this route finishes, I can go ahead and kill this Maul. All right, so there we go, Maul down. Phew. All right, now on to Path 5B. First up, we have a Mysterio. Mysterio is metal, so I'm just going to be using Magneto here, even though it's a 7-star. There's not a tremendous amount of danger in this fight as long as you don't screw it up too badly. Obviously, I'm way late on the heavy, and I am going to take some damage on this fight because of the reflecting damage after the SB1. I was a little annoyed that it took as long as this fight did to get down. But, it is what it is. Now we can finish him off. Probably, I think this does it with the special 3. With the big fury and all the prowess. Beautiful. All right, next up is the tough fight. The reason why I did Path 5B. It's the rank 5 AbsMan on node 37 that has vexed so many people this season. Just really hard to control his regen. The strategy here is obviously you want to throw your haymaker when you have the fury, and while his protection shielding is down. Ideally, he'll either be out of form or in magma when you do so that way you can maximize damage. Here, I don't know why my dex didn't count, but that special one alone ate about 40% of my health. Just a monster hit from AbsMan. Here we'll heavy counter to get him out of his form. And now we got the intercept to get the fury. He's out of form. This is exactly what we wanted to line up, and we're going to do a monster amount of damage on AbsMan here. Except for the fact that he throws a special 2, which, you know, he's supposed to be way more passive when he does that. But, you know, it happens from time to time. I've seen Rentra do it, throw a special right after a special 3. It just happens. So I take some more burst damage from block. He throws a special 1, which I heavy counter to remove the form. And now I'm back to special 3. I just need to get the intercept to remove the fury. I do full combo into the special 3. And now this fucker is going to go night-night. Great job, Titania. It's really expensive to heal her up, which I did before I fight this Longshot. This will be my final fight of the war on node 39. It's another one of the intercept nodes. Here we're just going to keep Longshot at special 1s, and we'll dex him, and then we'll just sort of eventually get him down. Of course, we're going to get some punches to the face, just because it's a clown war, and you've got to get hit a few times. Otherwise, people will think that someone is piloting me. Yeah, feels good. Actually, I'm just doing it to build power, you know? Alright, intercept, special 3, maximum effort, let's go. I'm only going to do 2 heavies here and back off because I didn't want to push him over 2 bars of power. Remember, I want to keep him to special 1s. And whenever he's above a special 1, I'm not going to intercept him over a bar power. I'm going to wait until he dumps his power before I do that. I thought about throwing a special 2 right there to see if I could finish the fight out with my Fury. I wasn't sure. I just say, I'll just be conservative. And that's good enough to do it. All right, so that's the end of my war. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I will see you in the next life, Jack.